Mark Golding has expressed his disapproval about statements that were recently made by Dr. Dayton Campbell. People's National Party's presidential candidate, Mark Golding, has expressed his disapproval and issued a rebuke to former Senate Northwestern Member of Parliament, Dr. Dayton Campbell, for statements that were made last week on a political platform. The statements that were made by Dr. Dayton Campbell has been highly criticized by many observers. Dr. Dayton Campbell has expressed publicly that he is supporting Mark Golding in his presidential campaign. This presidential campaign will serve as a leadership transition process to replace Dr. Peter Phillips as the PNP president. Recent statements made by Dr. Dayton Campbell imploring PNP delegates to vote for the candidate who has the most financial resources and the one who is able to get the greatest support from the private sector has only attracted widespread criticisms from the public. Mark Golding, however, has sought to provide some clarifications about Dr. Dayton Campbell's statements ahead of the November 7th internal presidential elections. Mark Golding is stating that these statements from Dayton Campbell were poorly expressed. He further went on to state, "I think the broader point that Dayton was trying to make was that the PNP needs resources to function effectively as a political organization, and that part of the role of the leader must be to try and attract those resources." I think that was the broader point that he was trying to make. In the course of it, speaking on a platform, I think some things were said there that ought not to have been said. I've spoken to him about it, and I think we'll move on from there. But the broader point as to the importance of resources is a real one. He further went on to state that as it relates to whether or not the person who next leads the opposition party must be wealthy, that is not a requirement. Absolutely not. Mark Golding further went on to state that his position differs from that of Dayton Campbell's. His statement is that the next president of the People's National Party does not need to be wealthy. However, they need to be able to attract the necessary financial resources from the private sector and from other donors. He further explained that it has to be somebody with credibility, somebody who is seen by the wider community as worthy of support, so that financial resources can flow through the party. Several members of the PNP have publicly declared that the party has found itself in a less than ideal position financially. So it seems the People's National Party is in dire need of financial resources. Other persons have also stated that the PNP's dismal performance at the polls in recent years is as a result of limited financial resources that have been brought on by major campaign donation scandals from 2016. 5 months after the shocking defeat to the Jamaica Labour Party on September 3rd, 2020, where the Jamaica Labour Party took all of 49 seats to the People's National Party's 14. Many reasons have been given for the People's National Party's loss at the September 3rd general election polls. But it seems another one has come to light. The party is in dire need of funding. And therefore, we understand the statement that is being made by Dr. Dayton Campbell. He's basically saying that the next president of the People's National Party needs to be able to garner support from every angle, in all corners of society. Not only does the People's National Party need to become the party of choice for the Jamaican electorate, but they also need to be able to finance the political organization as a unit, because the unit cannot adequately function without financial resources. Mark Golding has clearly provided an excellent clarification for the statements that were made by Dr. Dayton Campbell. People's National Party is still trying to recover from that massive loss at the September 3rd parliamentary polls. And they are still trying to recover from the allegations of misuse of campaign funds by some of its candidates in the 2016 general elections. Allegations of campaign fund misuse were made by the treasurer at the time, Norman Horn, in his report to the party's National Executive Council meeting, which was held on July 23rd and July 24th of the year 2016. And information presented by Norman Horn at that meeting, it clearly stated that the party was in campaign disarray, and this spilled over to its ability to raise funding for the election in 2016, and they eventually lost that election by 1 seat to the Jamaica Labour Party. Statement that was made by Dayton Campbell, where he was telling delegates that the party is in need of money, and further went on to suggest that in selecting Golding for this high position in the People's National Party, funds would again flow to the political organization. According to Dayton, the party cannot operate on water. He further went on to state that it is a funny thing that he sees in politics. On election day, almost everyone would like to have money to vote, but when you have someone who has money inside of the party, it's like everybody wants to argue with them. The party is in need of somebody with money and somebody who can raise money, because you need money to operate a political organization. Further went on to state his observations. He said on election day, when you go out there, you will hear everybody asking about money. You will also hear some people right here in this room asking for money to vote on the 7th, concluded by stating that the party needs to have a leader that is respected in the country and respected in the private sector so that they can raise money. Dr. Dayton Campbell was making a statement of necessity, and a statement that was factual, because the People's National Party is in dire need of funding. And of course, they are plagued by scandals of misuse of campaign funds from the year 2016. And of course, they're still trying to recover from the massive 2020 defeat that they had to encounter after the Jamaica Labour Party took all of 49 seats. Now, as it stands, Dayton Campbell is right. They are in need of funding, because funding is required for the smooth and effective operation of an organization. But the way that he stated it was poorly done. And as Mark Golding has clearly stated, he does not share that opinion. He does not believe that the next leader of the People's National Party has to be wealthy. But he shares the opinion that the next leader of the party must be credible and must operate in such a way that they are able to garner respect and financial support from persons in the private sector and other donors as well. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know if you share the opinion of Dayton Campbell or Mark Golding. Thanks for watching.